Normally harvesting crops like cotton and peanuts, they're going to have to wait until the fields dry out.
Fox 10 News reporter Will Robinson-Smith talked to some Baldwin County farmers to see how they're preparing for a round of rain from Tropical Storm Karen.
The tractors at Mullock's farm are working on all cylinders to gather as many peanuts as possible before Tropical Storm Karen brings them to a halt for a good part of next week.
It could potentially have an impact. If the ground gets too wet and saturated, it could delay some of the digging, which could potentially delay some of the combining and delay that optimum window of harvest opportunity that we have, that we're kind of honed in on.
Mullock, now in his late 30s, grew up around his father's farm his whole life and knows what to watch for coming out of this weekend.
A little rain is okay. If the front were to come in and hover and dump 10 inches of rain, then you're going to have to wait a few days for that to dry out and then hopefully deal with the consequences later.
He says his crops came in at a good time this year, and while he does want to work as efficiently as possible today and tomorrow, he doesn't want to worry too much about the storm.
It could definitely impact us, but it's one of those wait and see moments. You're not really sure the impact. We don't really know to what extent it'll strengthen. We're not really sure, the wind strength. We're not sure what the rainfall is going to be. So at this point, it's just business as usual.
We did reach out to a number of other Baldwin County farmers who were more concerned about Tropical Storm Karen, but because they were tending to their crops, they didn't have the time to stop and talk to us. Mullock says the bigger weather impact came from the large amount of rain felt this summer.
It was brutal during July and into August. Very frustrating. Caused us to have to, shift strategies to some extent, depending on, the amount of rain and depending on the crop.
And while he thinks his crops can generally weather this storm, he says you can't rule out that things might take a turn for the worse.
It's just kind of a take a wait and see approach, and depending on the impact of Karen, then you get to make some decisions afterwards.
And soon, he and other farmers will have to just wait and see till this all blows over before they'll know if their prep work was enough. In Loxley, Will Robinson-Smith, Fox 10 News.